All signs point to this. Some key points of emphasis for the Chicago Bears as they enter their Week 4 matchup against the Las Vegas Raiders. Welcome to Bears Digest, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Dylan Guinzy. Thank you for joining me once again today. If you have not subscribed already, please be sure to hit that bell to stay up to date on news, rumors, information as it comes to us as we progress into this season. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are into Week 4. We have the Las Vegas Raiders this week on the road at 325 yet again. I don't know about you guys, but I hate these late afternoon slate games. They absolutely suck. I don't know about you guys. Just let me know. Drop down in the comments below what you guys think about that. A little nuance there, not related to the video, but absolutely hate those late slate games. Just feels like you have to wait forever, and then once they're over, it's already Sunday Night Football time. So, anyways, as we enter this Week 4 game against the Raiders, we're going to talk about some key points of emphasis and all the signs that are needed for the Bears to win this game. We've done this in weeks past, and a couple of these losses that we've endured to start the year against the Vikings and the Lions, all of our key points that we kind of mentioned fell flat on their face, and they were massive, massive weaknesses for the team in those games. So far, so good on what we've kind of been predicting and what we've needed. Obviously, a lot of it is rather obvious things that the Bears need to do to win these games, and they haven't been doing them so far aside from last week. So we'll get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. What I first want to touch on is these two right here, Caleb and Rome, and their connection. This is going to be point number one and sign number one that the Bears will win this game is if they keep this connection going between Caleb and Rome. They have been on fire here to start the year. Ben Johnson has said it many, many times that they have grown over time just with the offense, with each other. And just like last week when Rome had that route that he kind of broke off from Trayvon Diggs there in Dallas, or for Dallas, he broke off that route, and that's not the route that he was supposed to be running, but obviously Diggs slipped, and Rome had a good idea to just keep that going towards the end zone. Caleb saw him. He found him right on the money. There you go. That doesn't just happen normally with a random quarterback or a quarterback and a wide receiver that don't have a great connection. Those things don't tend to happen. Also, Rome Odunze is now your wide receiver one. Breaking news there, if you guys didn't know already. This was stuff that we knew coming into the season. You drafted him number 9 overall to be your number 1 wide receiver and to be a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. So far this year, he is proving that. He has the most touchdowns in the NFL with 4, 227 yards, puts him at 11th, 16 receptions at 16th. I want those receptions to be even more. I know Caleb's been doing a good job of spreading the ball around. Obviously, we have other weapons that we need to get it to, but Rome is our wide receiver one. Their connection is very strong. They trust each other. I want the ball going his way immediately, especially with this Raiders defense who is a little bit suspect. Their safeties aren't good, and their corners aren't special either. So this is something that you need to attack early and often and consistently throughout the game in order to take this one home. The next thing, and the next most important thing, obviously, with the Raiders, we have to talk about their side as well. And we're going to go to this man right here, Maxx Crosby. He is one of the best players in the NFL, and he is an absolute dominant force on that side of the football. All respect given to Maxx Crosby. We have to be able to find ways to chip him, put an extra man on him, always have our eyes on him every single play. This is going to be massive, massive for the brand to stop him and win this game, because outside of him, they do have a couple of guys with multiple sacks, but they're not game breakers by any means. If you stop Max and hold him, or at least try to contain him, you should have a good chance to win this game. You just don't want him to wreck the game, as Ben Johnson said here in the press conference yesterday. He is a top 5 defensive player in the NFL who doesn't get some of the recognition he deserves. He wrecks drives. That's what he does. And that is absolutely correct there from Ben Johnson. I think Max is a little bit, I guess, lower on the totem pole in terms of like how people talk about him and how popular he is. Obviously, you hear about Micah Parsons and Myles Garrett, TJ Watt. That's a little bit less this year. But different guys like that, you hear a lot more than Maxx Crosby, but he's actually performed as good or better than those guys. And he's just one of those guys that completely can wreck drives and wreck games for you. And something that has been an issue for Chicago this year is we've been having a lot of 3rd and longs. We've done pretty good at, third down conversions overall, and things like that. But when you have those pre-snap penalties every now and again, or post-snap penalties, you're getting pushed back, or you're giving a carry off to DeAndre Swift and it's going for -2 yards right from the start, you end up in those 3rd and long situations. And it's just really tough to kind of dig yourself out of that hole. And that's where you tend to see drives stall. Another way that drives stall is giving up sacks to guys like this and Max Crosby. So point number 1 there for the offensive side and the offensive line is stopping Max Crosby, or at least containing him. If he gets 1 sack, whatever, that's probably going to happen, right? It's almost like playing against Michael Jordan back in the day. You can't really stop him, but you can only try to contain him. That's what we're trying to do here. Just don't let him wreck the game and make you lose this in Las Vegas. Along from that, aside from Max Crosby, it's on the offensive side for the Las Vegas Raiders, and that is Ashton Jeanty. So Ashton Jeanty obviously hasn't gotten off to the raging start that he's wanted to. That is a lot to attribute. The same situation that Chicago's been dealing with the offensive line. A little bit inconsistent at times, although our offensive line has been opening up holes and the player hasn't been hitting them. Jeanty, it's kind of a little bit of both. He's been somewhat hesitant, but he's also been crushed behind the line of scrimmage almost every single rushing attempt he's got. If you turn on the film, that offensive line has been horrific. And everybody's been talking about this week, especially Jeanty himself, Pete Carroll, that they want to get him going. And it's like, the time is now, right? The Bears' rush defense isn't very good. And what better time for Jeanty to get to the welcome to the NFL moment in just crushing Chicago. So this is the other thing that we cannot have happen. Do not let this be his breakout game. You absolutely don't want that to happen. I know a lot of people wanted Ashton Jeanty to be a Bear, and I think he would have if he would have fell to our pick. But Vegas took him, and they took him for right reason. He is an absolute bowling ball, and he's got great vision as well, great cuts. He's got good speed. So he can do anything with the ball in his hands. We just need to stuff him behind the line of scrimmage or right at the line of scrimmage and not allow a bunch of room to run for him because we do not want this to be Jeanty's breakout game. So Jeanty's stats so far this year, 47 carries, which is 10th in the league, and 24th in yards at 144, 1 touchdown on the ground, and 3.1 yards per carry, which is 131st. So obviously not good there, but everybody knows the potential of Jeanty and what he could be. Please, let's just not have that happen against the Bears this week and let that be his breakout moment and kind of welcome to the NFL spot there. So Ashton Jeanty and stopping him is going to be key in this game to kind of just force them into some longer situations on 2nd and 3rd down and obvious passing situations. When that happens and you start to pressure Geno Smith a little bit, he tends to make some bad decisions. So we want to keep that trend going and don't let them get hot, especially at home. That's something that you don't want against the Las Vegas Raiders there. So all in all, we got 3 main points for this game. It's Rome and Caleb's connection. It is containing Max Crosby, and it is stopping Ashton Jeanty. I think if those 3 things happen, the Bears will be able to pull this game out and win. Obviously, this is kind of a letdown spot for Chicago. Raiders aren't a great team by any means. Obviously, we're both 1-2. But this is kind of one of those famous letdown spots. If you're a Bears fan, we've had many of these in the past where you get a win off of a losing streak. You think everything's good. You think everything's dandy. We're heading into the bye after this game. Easy. Let's just get to 2-2, 500. Bang. We're going to be fine. Well, it's not that easy. It's a week-to-week league. The NFL is very difficult, and this could definitely be one of those kind of trap games that you see where the Bears kind of chunk that down their leg and play horrifically. Last year, what I think kind of reminds me of this is that Cardinals game. That was kind of a spot where after Washington, I believe, it was kind of a spot where we could get back into things and get back into the swing of things. They weren't a great team either, and we just completely chunked it down our leg and just laid an egg on the field, and it was horrible. You kind of just knew at that point, like, it was done for. So we don't want that, of course. We need to get back in the win column again, finally get a win streak for this team, especially going into the bye. and then getting healthier as well. Injury report did not look good today. We might be covering some of that here tomorrow before the weekend. But overall, guys, we have those 3 points of emphasis to win this game against the Raiders. I think they can get it done. Just have to execute on the field. So thank you guys for joining Bears Digest once again. And as always, bear down.